Yo, what's going on, people? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Saeed TV. I hope everybody's having a good Wednesday. Glorious sunshine in Manchester. I reckon around the UK, it's absolutely scorching hot. And you know what? What a better way to kind of mix your evening up with a bit of Mandem talk. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to everybody who's here. Make sure you do like the video when you come in through the door. Should be first nature nowadays to hit the like button. Subscribe if you're new. We've got man like Neji swagged up and that, you know what I'm saying?
Out here, man.
He's
Do you know what I mean? Come for the sun, bro. They don't call me sunshine for nothing, bro. Do you know what I mean? The sun comes out, bro. I have to come through, bro. Do you know what I mean? It's how we step, man. It's how we step. Big up the people. Big up the panel, obviously. The Mandem, Leon, Rhino, Saeed. Obviously, you guys, if you're loyal and you're mainly loyal and you're the ones that come through, smash the like button if you haven't already. We don't mind if you forget. Just do it right now for us. And yeah, show some love to the Mandem talk, man.
Come on. Got man like Rhino in the building. What are you telling me, Rhino, man? How's everything been?
Listen, man. Yeah, man. Apart from United, I can't complain, man. You feel me, man? Yeah, listen, the weather's shining as well. But yeah, man, I'm good, man.
Out, man. That's the only thing, man.
They got the Mandem as always, man.
Come on. We got Leon in the building. I don't know why they keep telling you like you look like Bruno Fernandes, but it is what it is.
What?
Man. Listen, Leon.
Wait, what?
No, I can't keep saying Bruno Fernandes. Yo. I don't know why. But it is what it is. I would say the kind of plays for Wolves, man. I would say Cunha, but that's just me in it. I think he looks like Cunha. But Leon, how you doing, bro?
People, you can hear me. Allow it in it. Just allow it in it. But yeah, just allow it. Cunha, I'll take it. But yeah, no, I'm good, man. I'm good. It's been a bad week, obviously, from the weekend's results. I think it's just died down. I don't know if it's the same for you lot, but I've only just stopped getting the meme sent through, people commenting. Yes. So life's just about starting to get back to reality. But I'm blessed. I'm blessed to be here. Big up the man, big up Rhino, Saeed, and the greatest heavyweight footballer, swagged out. And big up all the people. And make sure you like the video because Saeed takes mad pelters when we get beat, you know. So you need to like the video for that reason.
Right. Trust me. Nah, big up everyone, man. Tyrone can't make it today, but I think Musa will be joining us soon. But his internet wasn't too bad yesterday. I spoke to him yesterday on a stream. His internet weren't bad, so there may be hope for us. But we'll see. Big up to Debbie already said, did you hear what Louis van Gaal said? Should have kept his mouth shut. Yeah, he was talking about the Messi situation and how he was fixed for him and all that. But listen, that's his own opinion. I think he's more kind of hating on Messi because he did that thing to him. And you know what I mean? It is what it is. But Van Gaal will always speak his mind. That's what I loved about Van Gaal. He always spoke his mind. But we got more pressing issues than Van Gaal. We're going to talk about Antony. Man United made a statement, another statement. Manchester United made more statements than we have wins. That's how alarming the situation is at Man United. We're also going to talk about Ten Hag and whether we feel like we're making progress. I feel like the fan base are very disgruntled. There's a few people who are saying he's made progress, and there's a few people that are saying he's not made progress. Big up Musa in the building. But let's start with the Antony statement. Again, Manchester United making another statement. In the last 48 hours, we've heard three statements already. But Man United issue a statement regarding Antony. Manchester United acknowledges the allegations made against Antony and notes the police are conducting inquiries. Pending further investigation, the club will be making no further comments. As a club, we are taking this matter seriously with consideration of those allegations and subsequent reporting we'll have on survivors of abuse. Always, you get me? Like, we always, our thoughts are with the survivors of all types of abuses. But like I said, I'm going to start with Leon, man. Leon, chat to me, man. Antony, is this another situation that Manchester United need to sort out ASAP? Do we just wait until we find out what's going on in Brazil? Where is your mind on this one? Because I'm just tired, bro. I can't lie to you. I'm tired.
I kind of have the in one ear out of the other approach with this one. Not because I don't think it's right or wrong or anything like that, but I don't make a judgment until the full evidence comes out. That's just the way I am as a person. I never did it with Conor Ben. I never did it with Sancho. I never did it with anybody. That's just the way I am in it. But it's a headache. We don't need it. But it's kind of focus on what you can control and focus on what you can't control, innit? Do you know what I mean? Like, obviously, whatever will be with him. I think if I'll give you a little bit of perspective. If it's true, then another mess with the Greenwood and the Sancho and the Antony. It's just a bit of a mess we don't need right now. But I don't know. I think it's too early for me to really have like a deep opinion on things. I just feel like we just need to concentrate on the season. Like we've had an okay start if you look at the table, but I feel like it's funny because when I talk to rival fans, they think it's fine. They see match of the day and they see a few highlights and they think, yeah, United are doing all right. I don't know what you lot are moaning about, but internally what we see is just a pot of mess in it. So I can't really talk too much on the Antony thing. I just think we don't need more right now. So that's all I can say on that right now.
Yeah, and AG. I mean, obviously there's a lot of pressure. Manchester United are not commenting further forward, but a lot of journalists have been talking about, like, is he going to be suspended? Should he be suspended while the investigation is going on? Is it right for the team to have a player who, again, is probably thinking about something else? This guy's human, innit? So everyone's human nowadays. These footballers are human. And we should never put them on a pedestal, in that regards. But you know what, man? It's another situation that Man United have to deal with, and obviously more pressure for Ten Hag. I mean, people always think Ten Hag had it easy at Man United. Ronaldo, Greenwood, Sancho. Now this situation here, and again, like I said to you, it's on the club first of all. I'm just talking about the manager. But what are you saying in this situation with Antony, Neji?
I think they did a shambolic job with the Greenwood situation. Took far too long, in my opinion. So. Do I expect them to have to lean on their morals again, given the fact that they wanted to keep him last time, keep Greenwood specifically, but then they only revamped it because of the situation and the heat on the business. And I don't expect anything less from them. So from a business perspective, I expect them to keep it going. The wise choice for me would be to be consistent and suspend him until the investigation is done. And again, it'll be quite interesting for me, Saeed, to see those that were backing Greenwood, to see how they handle the Antony situation, because Antony's not a player that most people rate. And some of our theories were, well, if you didn't rate the player, you probably wouldn't want him out anyway. So I'm pretty sure you're going to see some flip-flops in that respect on the situation. That aside, though, if I'm going to be consistent, and without a doubt, I think he should be suspended, given the fact that now the local police in the UK are getting involved. If it's the Brazilian thing, I can kind of see reasons as to why he wouldn't be suspended. Because it's an investigation in another country outside of the way, but now it's come onto home soil. It's a bit like they're taking it extra serious, which therefore you have to go, you know what? Let's go, let's bounce. So for me personally, my preference, like anything, bro, you know me, bro, he's gotta get suspended, in my opinion. That's what I would expect Manchester United to do. And then hopefully, regardless of whichever happens, same with Greenwood, if it's a case of my man is found guilty, adios, see you later, get out of here. If it's a case of he's not found guilty, then so be it. But I think the one thing I would like to highlight is that there'll be a lot of differences. There'll be a lot of fans, Saeed, where people will be like, oh, what about Greenwood, this? I think you have to treat every case as an individual situation. And again, when you get audio, when you get images as such as what you did with Greenwood, some things are more stonewalled than anything for you. If we have access to those things, cool. But again, it's a justice system, and can you really trust the justice system either way, whether they get it right or wrong, whether that's in favour of Antony or against? Either way, it's a difficult one. So for me right now, just suspend him and keep it moving, man.
You know what? I hear you, but then it's like for football, it's obviously he's thinking to himself, well, I'm innocent, obviously, until proven guilty. And I get there's overriding evidence. I think with the Greenwood situation, because the evidence was out there already, I think that's why everybody had an opinion. So everybody then said, you know what? I've seen what I've seen. I've heard what I've heard. I want him banned. And again, like I said to you, we did, that was until we didn't even find out in the court of law, etc., etc. With this one, and I'm going to go to Rhino now. We don't really know anything too much. We've seen a few pictures and whatnot, and don't get me wrong, they don't look good anyway, Rhino. But it's not as, for me, clear as daylight as what we've seen with Greenwood. Greenwood's out there in the open. You see what I mean? So that's why, for me, I wouldn't just suspend him right now. That's just my own opinion until we hear everything. That's again for me.
I
when
agree.
I hear everything and I find out he's guilty and whatnot, then bro, suspend him straight away, bro. Are you mad? Ain't no discussion. But right now, I think for me, we have to find out what's going on, and it's not more as clear. I don't know what you think, Rhino.
Yeah, no, I agree on that. Obviously, the energy towards people doing that is the same, innit? Once you're guilty for doing that, listen, you're out of the club. But obviously, I feel like there are slightly different circumstances when you compare both cases. Obviously, we heard Greenwood's voice, we saw certain things and whatnot. In the post to Antony's one, it's just pictures at the moment, which do look horrific. But at the same time, but whatever it is, if he's guilty for it, it's wrong. That's first and foremost. Let me get that out of the way. But I feel like if you just suspend people as soon as people make allegations, it becomes a bit messy, and it's like all the people that haven't really done nothing or haven't proven their innocence have to lose out on football. And if they end up being innocent, it's like they got suspended for no reason. But I see suspension as suspension could be good for Antony, because at the same time, him playing football while all of this is going on might not be good for him. It might not be good for the team, So to take him out of the picture while it gets handled maybe might be good for him too, because his mindset might not be there, and it's going to be a big distraction anyway, whether he's within the team or not. I think even when he's there, it might even distract the players more. They know what's going on, and he's just playing with the Mandem, and it's like, it's quite. Do you know what it is for me? Yeah, I don't know. Right now, I have no words, because this club, every minute is drama. FC. There's always something going on, and I want to go back to what you said earlier, Saeed. Like when you rate Ten Hag, please respect what he's gone through. Like Poch, Pep, Klopp, they're not going through Ronaldo interviews. What club had to go through a Ronaldo interview? What club had to go through? Obviously, we've got a lot of similar situations to the Mason Greenwood thing, because I know Mendy and all of those people as well. So other clubs have gone through other situations. But, the situation with Maguire, the ownership, all of that stuff, it's a lot of stress to take that Ten Hag has to deal with, on top of trying to separate the football from the real life. And I feel like, remember you guys, I said last week, I feel like the Mandem's mentality is not there. The players are not playing properly. There's something going on. And obviously now we've seen the Sancho thing, this Antony thing's brewing as well. For all we know, this has been brewing since the start of the season. And that's why the Mandem's heads are not there. They've come to the pitch. You saw the Wolves game. Remember what I said to you? I think before the tactics, I feel like they're just not playing the basic fundamentals of football. There's something wrong. Their heads are gone. But yeah, man. But I'm just tired of this drama, man. I'm just tired of the drama. And if he is guilty, listen, maybe he can... he has to go elsewhere. But right now, like you said, it's just, we don't know nothing concrete yet. Maybe if he gets charged, then we can start to take it a bit more serious. But
yeah, facts.
Yeah, that's what I really got to say, man, to be honest. Yeah,
and you know what, as well, in these cases, until there's any context to anything, it's very, very, very hard to think, because I remember being sat in the barbershop when the Mendy thing came out, and you see, like, I don't know if anyone's seen, obviously we can't talk about that on here, but the release video, I don't know if anyone's seen the explicit video. I can't say too much, but the explicit video
I've not seen that.
Okay, cool.
So is that the Antony thing?
No, of Mendy.
No, Mendy.
Oh,
it's a very explicit interview. Yeah, I can't go any further than that. Basically, somebody showed it me, and I was like, "Raw, okay." But then it was like, after that video, it wasn't like anything explicit against him. It was more. Do you know where I'm going with this? It was like it was intimacy, basically. It was intimacy.
Okay.
Yeah. And then
I think I've seen it.
Then afterwards claiming you've done this, and this to me, innit? So obviously with all the charges, in my head, I'm not making a decision on whether I'm judging him yet, but I'm thinking, raw, man's got like all these charges, raw, he's done a madness. Do you know what I mean? In the back of my head, innit? Logically from what I can see, but then it comes out that I think he bust all the cases, didn't he? Did he bust most of the cases?
I think he did, I think he was clear of all charges, I believe.
Yeah, so it's I need context personally, but yeah, sorry, just what you're saying, right? Yeah.
Before I bring in Musa, I'm just going to read a couple of super chats there. Debbie says, Saeed, I'm not going to lie. Thank God I'm not a United fan. Barca has problems, but not this. And New says, Brazil suspend him. He should be suspended by United too. And New says, suspension would be good for the team as well. This is a massive distraction. Bro, you got the Glazers as well. That's a massive distraction as well. But I hear you on the smaller scale, 100%. Musa, obviously, you kind of looked at it in a different way with the Greenwood situation. You felt, a type of way to that. Like, should it be the same energy for Antony? Or do you reckon because of the manager has brought him in, he might have, I don't know, like, again, it's not in his hands anyway, to be honest with you, because it's in the club's hand. But do you reckon the club are now thinking, you know what, we have to make a stance with this now? Because they say they're not going to suspend him for now. Whereas before, they obviously suspended Greenwood, pending investigation. But maybe it's once he gets charged. Maybe that's when they say, you know what, we're going to suspend him.
Yeah, it's difficult, you know, because for me, I feel like one of the issues I had with the Mason Greenwood thing was that we're in a council culture. And I feel like regardless of how I feel about something, if I don't have context and facts, we really have to be careful how we're allowing people to be judged and trialed by social media. You know what I'm saying? And I just feel like because we're in this council culture, for example, because we've said two things about Antony. He needs to be charged, and if he's found guilty. These are two things that wasn't even brought to light with Mason Greenwood. You know what I'm trying to say? These are two things. And with the Mason Greenwood thing, we had a video and we had a tape. It's either we believe our club and the people that run our club when they say that they saw the video I mean, they saw or they heard the audio, which was like 4 minutes long. And from the context of what they heard as a club, they're saying he's not guilty of what he's been accused of. So this is, you know, people coming out as an organization saying, look, you lot ain't heard it. Because like one of the things that was said was, obviously for some of the older viewers, there's a lot of things that happen in bedrooms, like role play. And some people, I don't even know if a couple men on here like it dirty, but there's a lot of people that are...
Keep it halal, keep it halal, man.
We keep it halal. Some men think they're Spider-Man in the bedroom. Some men think they're Batman. Some men are banks or robbers. Like, there's a lot of kinky people out there, innit? And this is why when this type of thing go to trial, there's always context, what was going on. Because if you hear certain man's videos when they're doing a mad thing in a bedroom, you're going to think like, what's wrong with my man? Is he all right? So there's always context needed to whatever we see or hear. Because one of the biggest issues I have with Mason Greenwood's thing, not that he was this innocent or he was guilty, it was we can't allow social media and people's feelings, what you feel about what you think, you know. Because here we have an organization and an institute like Manchester United with all its history telling us we've heard the audio and it's about 4 minutes long, and what we heard is not what you lot think it is. This is an institution and an organization telling us that.
So why is he gone on loan then, Musa? Why do you think he's gone on loan?
What they said, though. I'm just telling you what they said. He's gone on loan.
I get that, but to challenge your point,
he's gone on loan?
Why is he gone on loan? If you know he's not done nothing, why would you send him on loan? That makes no sense.
So because we're allowing people to be trialed by social media, the level of backlash due to people's feelings was so great that it forced an institution and an organization like Manchester United to say, we've heard it, but because of the pressure with you lot's feelings, when I say you lot, not you lot talk, I'm talking about the world as a whole and the social and the media and the news, we're going to send him out alone because we can't deal with you lot's feelings every day on the news, blah, blah, coming towards our club. We don't need that negativity.
I can't even lie, Musa. Yeah? If that was the case, the Glazers would have sold up by now because we're making noise for the longest time.
No, not necessarily. Not necessarily, because we got to remember as well.
I don't understand that trailer for. You're going to have to help me here.
No, go on, Reese, you go first.
He was charged by the police, though, Musa.
No, listen, he was charged based on the audio. Then when they got the full context, when they heard the full context and the lack of, because they did say with a lack of evidence and witnesses, they dropped the case. Man, I'm just saying, forget like.
No, they didn't say lack of evidence. They said miss it to be accurate, bro. You got to be accurate with these things, man. Like they didn't say that.
They dropped the case.
Yeah, they didn't say that, bro. They literally said like witnesses dropping out and other evidence coming to light. It wasn't lack of.
Okay. Other evidence. So what the other evidence was, from what I heard, it was evidence to support Mason Greenwood. Since that evidence came to light, because it was the full context, it's the same evidence that Manchester United heard that made it allow them to believe that he was innocent. So
what did you hear then, bro?
I'm just giving an example in terms of putting two and two together. more evidence came forward. Manchester United are saying they heard more evidence, and based on what they've heard, so I'm only judging this based on the institute and the organization that Manchester United is and everything it stands for. That's all. It's either we're saying they're lying to us and this institute and organization is lying, or it's telling the truth. I'm going to say it's telling the truth. I'm not here to just say people are lying. I'm going to believe that what Manchester United heard, the full length, because I don't have the full context. They're privileged to have heard the whole audio. So this is why I'm with Antony. So here we are again now with Antony, where we won't have the full facts. We'll have images that's come out.
Yeah,
but Antony doesn't have to be found guilty, nor does he have to be charged if what the images we've seen, people feel upset.
I hear you on that point.
It doesn't have to be for them to drop him, because that's how Mason, and that's the only reason I was defending not allowing people's feelings over facts to dictate the council culture that's happening. Because now, based on what Man United did, Antony doesn't have to be charged or found guilty for them to drop him.
That's why I said this case is not similar. You know, the Greenwood case, it was right in front of your face. It was literally there. And I get it. I don't want to get the ins and outs of the Greenwood situation.
I think this is worse for Manchester United.
Listen, again,
let me tell you why I say it's worse. So you can understand me.
So you can't really say that.
Why I say it's worse? Because Mason Greenwood's case was against his girlfriend, who is now to be wife, whatever, the mother of his.
That don't make any difference, though, bro.
I'm just telling you the facts. I'm telling you the facts.
Okay,
he came out with more evidence came out, the same evidence that Manchester United heard, that made them believe that what took place wasn't what we think took place. So I'm talking about how it is for Manchester United. As for Manchester United right now, they just have a girl out there who's accusing Antony of these things for since last season. She's been accusing him of this, and she's not going away. She's not saying it's out of context, it's misheard, or the images are wrong. She's saying no, he done this.
Ex-girlfriend. His ex-girlriend. So it's different. One's his girlfriend, one's his ex as well.
So what I'm saying is, so as an institute, if I have, let me give an example. If someone works for me and an audio comes out, and then I hear some mad thing, and I say, oh, hold on, you're suspended from work. What's this audio? Then him and his missus come in, play it to me, and I hear it, and it's something different. Me as a manager or someone that runs an organization, I'm more calm about that. I'm like, okay, cool. This is under control. It's not as deep as what everyone thinks. But if I have someone now who works for me and has his ex-girlfriend saying these things, and she's not saying it's a misunderstanding, right? She's actually saying this is what happened, it's more difficult for me to deal with as an organization.
Yeah, but doesn't it depend on what's in the case?
Well, that's
like, for example, if you hear the
voice note, I'm just saying from the get-go now, as an organization, I feel like if you come to me, because you're an employee, if someone says something to you and you're my employee, if you come to me with evidence and I hear it, as a manager, I can then deal with the situation and be like, okay, cool. But Man United actually have to wait now until the outcome of this, where they didn't.
Can I ask you a question? Yeah. Before Liam comes back, can we all agree that Man United didn't handle the situation correctly? Because I feel like they never did. I understand you. They didn't handle it correctly. So I don't know where you're coming from, Musa, in terms of, are you saying that we went in too soon and we judged Mason Greenwood too soon? Or are you saying we're now with Man United? I don't know if anyone did that.
Not even with the.
That's what
I'm not with the. I'm just saying the road we went down as an organization to allow people to be tried. Because only what they're saying, Man United are telling us, Mandem, that they have an audio. Unless we're saying they're lying. If we're saying they're lying, then I get where you lot are coming from. If we say we believe Man United, they're saying they have an audio.
I'm not believing what Man United say. No way. That's not
way. Did they say they have an audio or just have more evidence? Because it's important that you're accurate here.
They listened to all of it. They said it was longer. They listened. That's what they said.
So there's an audio with the Antony thing.
I remember them saying that they had access to the audio that we've all seen, and they had more evidence that they can't share in public. Now, whatever evidence surrounds it by, is that audio, is that visual, is that statements, what?
No, my thing is this. I'm with you and everything that you lot are saying. What I'm saying is, if we go with the primary understanding that Manchester United are telling us the truth in their investigation, it's either they're lying and they've had an investigation with Mason Greenwood, and they've seen that he's guilty, and then they've come out and told the whole public that he's not. Because they've told us, based on everything that they heard, or they've got back in terms of the more evidence, that he's not guilty of the things that he's been charged of. What I'm saying on that, man, them, it's either they're lying or they're telling the truth.
Well, let's take that they're telling the truth then, yeah? If you're telling the truth, then you'd have no reason not to play the man. You'd be able to stand there and say, no, we've heard it. You stand by your word. You wouldn't send him on loan.
I believe that's the power of council culture, and this is why Antony's about to get counsel. I believe so,
bro. Because we have to understand, yeah, they have a brand to maintain. Everything about the Glazers, everything about this club has been maintaining their brand. So this is massively intrinsically connected to them being able to offload him on loan, not because of council culture, but because the simple heat that would have come to the brand.
Wait for the
That's
heat to
facts. And there's more consistency. There is more consistency in that theory than there is going, oh, we're just going to listen to the fans on this one.
No, it's council culture. Why is there heat on the brand? Who's bringing the heat?
No, Musa.
Everyone, media, fans,
everyone. It's not only
people
the
inside
fans,
the club, the players, everyone, bro.
You got to remember.
Nobody cares about United's brand. I don't think any United fan cares about United's brand.
No, but they do.
We want them to go.
They do.
We want them to go.
Money, bro.
Yeah, they do. The guys at the top do.
Yeah.
Let me read a couple of super chats.
This ain't no council thing.
Yeah. Go on, Neji, before I read the super chat. You go.
Sorry. Yeah, that's the same. I mean, I understand the logic because Musa's spitting facts. There's logics to that.
I do. I get what he's saying.
Like, it's not outlandish, but when you factor in all the other things, there's more likely of a chance of it being based on them protecting their brand and their assets as opposed to anything else. They see Mason Greenwood as an asset, £100 million asset minimum. So if they send him on loan and he goes and does well, there's two options. Either comes back, but based on the reports, if we trust them, like Moose is saying, if we trust them, then of course he ain't going to play for Man United again. However, it potentially could be one or two things. He either comes back and plays, or he gets resold based on his value that he's made at Getafe. Either one, it don't matter. It's the brand that's come first. And this is why most of the fan base and the people in the media were peed off, because most were thought that the club will make a moral choice and they've made a business choice. But you got to look at them and go, when have they ever been morally correct anyway? It's been business, brand. So the consistency is based on business and brand, nothing else.
That's what I was going to say to you. You know, when you was making your point, AG, that basically it's to protect their thing. I'm going to be real with you. I think they're going to try and bring it back. I would be deadly real with you.
Yeah, I hear it.
But yeah, you need to do.
Well, the way Getafe are running out, they're trying to build this brand back up. So Getafe are moving wild, bro. I don't know what they're on, but I knew they were going to do that anyway. But that's up to them to do. Guys, I'm going to read a couple of super chats. 1.6k in here, by the way, people, which is crazy numbers. Make sure you guys like the video, man. We're here every Wednesday, Mandem.
That's a good super chat as well.
It gets a bit heated. Sorry?
That's a good super chat, man. That's an uncomfortable one, but it needs to be said, man.
No, 100%. News says here, Ten Hag's moral compass is questionable. Antony's this guy, and he knows him well from Ajax, and Ten Hag was willing to bring back Greenwood too. Let's not forget how he supported Mark Overmars.
What happened with Overmars?
I think he had some sort of what was the situation? I need to go find out again, man, because I don't want to.
What is it? Similar thing.
There's some sensitive stuff with the way my man was moving, bro.
Mm-hmm.
He backed Overmars over his exit over inappropriate messages. So he backed Overmars. Erik ten Hag has been backed by Mark Overmars to make a romantic turn to Ajax after the former Netherlands international resigned after the club director of football for sending inappropriate messages to female colleagues. So that's what made. And he goes here, Ten Hag believes Overmars could one day work again in tandem with him. That's a romantic thought, etc., etc. So again, like I said, we don't know the ins and outs of that one, so that's why it's very difficult for me to kind of. But it doesn't bode well for his kind of almost history in that aspect. Big up to Jeffrey in that. United always says if Ten Hag plays Antony and his performances drop and we continue on a bad run of form, I don't want to hear any excuses. The investigation hanging over Antony will bring even more harm into the squad. Yeah, spot on, man. Spot on. News says Musa doesn't understand that organizations will do whatever it takes, even lie, to protect their investment. They had done that for the past 17 years, 100%. Big up Nedu, man. Big up the gang. All love. Our club is
shout out to Nedu, man.
Yeah, big up to Nadu, man. I get all these players have lives outside football, but wallahi, they need to act better. Spot on, man. Emmanuel says there is pictures of his ex-girlfriend. Who cares if his ex does that? Exclude him from guilt because of his ex makes no sense. Big up to News says Musa and many go for Greenwood because he's a good footballer. Willing to drop Antony though because he's trash. Let's call it spade. You know what? Yeah, let me be real. Yeah, a lot of people are doing that. You know, people are not having the same energy. Same way you're saying to
facts,
me,
man.
have the same energy for Antony. A lot of people are saying, I want him out of the team because he's shit, and I hope this charge comes against him to light. How does that work out? Come on, man.
This is what we were saying on the Greenwood situation. We said if this was Harry Maguire, Luke Shaw, a player you dislike, you wouldn't be backing it the same way. And this is how you know that people are leading based on their preference of a footballer rather than the actual situation. So where are your standards in it?
It's not good, man.
You don't see flip-flops, man. Trust me.
Everyone loved Greenwood. But then when that
on top of that, Mandem,
football becomes secondary. Football.
Sorry to cut your side, yeah. I feel like we need to be mindful as well. Like we were saying earlier, someone's provided pictures or something. We need to be sure that that person's guilty of what is shown in the pictures, because we've seen loads of times on the other side where people try to not just say she's lying, but I'm just saying it's possible that, you know, there's two sides to the story. So we have to make sure that Antony was the one that committed what she's saying he done, not someone else, and then she's trying to get money out of it or whatever, which is a possibility. I'm not saying that's what it is. I'm just saying it's also a possibility that he's innocent.
Yeah,
because
you got to remember,
there could be bitterness there. It could be something, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, of course.
When you're in the limelight as a footballer and you're earning that kind of money, that can always be another thing anyway, because you can sell stories and do whatever. But I think, sorry, Said, I think
no, go for it.
How do you want your club to look? So if you want to keep these kind of people around, if this is, let's just say we find out that this is true, yeah, people can't be making a judgment on how good the footballer is, because you can't talk in one sentence about stability of a club or wanting to build and grow and become the best club in the world, and then have these kind of people around in the club. And people might say, I don't care, it's what he does on the pitch. Well, how about the team morale? Because that's what wins championships. What's that quote where they say you don't win games individually, it's the team that, what's that basketball?
Yeah. I get that. Alex Ferguson
teams win championships. So I think at the end of the day, you got to look at, we don't know what the evidence is. I'm definitely not going to make a judgment yet. Do you know what I mean? But I think,
bro, I don't know what evidence is. There's a couple of cases about he was basically jealous of her dropping a like on Neymar's post like 4 years ago. There's a couple of situation where he locked her in the house or something, and it is extensive. And I'm not gonna lie to you, some of it is quite a lot. But again, you're only hearing one side of the story. We don't know the other side of the story. And that's how things are judged. I don't want to be like judging it from social media. I don't think anybody wants to do that. That's why you have a court of law. That's why you have, you know what I mean, a judiciary system. You have everything right there in front of you. So then you can say, okay, fair enough, been found guilty. But if he's charged as well, equally, if he is charged, I think for me, like I said, you have to have the same energy. You have to say, you know what, he has to be suspended until pending investigation. Simple. I've kept the same energy.
And it has to be down to Ten Hag and I'm going to say the people that structure the club, but they're not there at the moment, are they? But yeah, it has to be down to Ten Hag and people higher. What kind of ethics you run in this club? Like what is forget the contracts, forget the wages, forget how much you sign the player for and all that, yeah? What is your process when these things happen? Is it very much, because like if AG's in charge, I can guarantee it's a system of, I don't care how many long's left on your deal, mate, you're gone. Do you know what I'm saying? You're going to sit out, you're not playing football, you're out on the sidelines. Or are you going to do we loan these men out, the heat goes down a little bit, we bring these men back when people forget? Do you know what I mean? So it's like, how do we want the ethics of the club to be? But at the same time, $1 billion organization, how much ethics do they actually have?
Yeah, Dan Watson said Partey had multiple allegations and went to court. Arsenal played him. This isn't a United issue, it's a football issue worldwide. No morals in the game. Did he go to court though? I'm not sure. Did he go to court? I don't think he did he? Did he go to court, Partey?
No,
I don't know. I don't think he went to court, man. I think the girl came out on social media and started basically mentioning everything. I don't know if he went to court though. Let me know, guys. Double check on that one, because I
wanted to ask you guys something. Do you guys? I think obviously we know the answer to what I'm about to ask, but I just feel like everything with United is just super amplified as well. It's like it's amplified times 10, and it's like people kind of feed into the fact, yes, United have got another problem. Let's blow it out of proportion and whatever. not to
You know what
minimize
it's like,
the
yeah?
seriousness of it, but
Sorry,
yeah.
Randall. No,
Yeah.
no, go on,
Yeah,
bro.
go on.
Finish up, bro. I don't have to.
Yeah, no, that's it, yeah.
Oh,
That's
safe.
it, go on, bro.
No,
Yeah.
sorry to cut, bro. But yeah, just the way I feel like it is, yeah, it's like us, man, now, yeah, all going to a standard 9 to 5. We've been working there for 5 years, building up ourselves, and then you go in on the Thursday, and then manager pulls you in and says, yo, promotion time tomorrow, bro. Get yourself ready. You turn up, you leave work Thursday, you're like, yeah, I'm blessed, nice, happy. You go in on Friday, bro, you go have that meeting, and they say you're fired, bro. And not only that, bro, you're feeling like death. You come home, yeah, your car breaks down on the way. You get out, you get a taxi backyard, yeah. And when you get yard, you find your missus sleeping with next man, who's probably your best friend, and you're sitting there going, "War, go on here." That's literally Manchester United at the moment. Like, it can't get any worse. Like, it literally can't get any. And that's how it. I'll be honest. That's how it feels. Not saying that's happened to me. It hasn't, but I can just imagine that's how it feels right now. Like, one problem after another, and it's like you're just gonna get so numb. Like, you just go, "Oh, I don't care anymore. Just deal with it." And I think that's what even I've seen a couple of people on Twitter talking about the Antony situation and Sancho situation. Like, Sancho, to be specific, I think it was big up Rachel. She was just saying, she says, it's an easy solution to fix. Either talk it out and sort it out, or you sell him off or whatever and just get over it. Like, I can't be arsed with it. And I think people are literally just like cutthroat now with things because it's getting too much. Yeah. It's getting too much.
100%, man. Everyone's cutthroat. Everyone's now kind of like, you know what? And this is where the fan base are getting as well emotional. We're not even thinking logically anymore. That's what I'm saying. Like, the fan base are now like they're coming up and saying, "Oh, what fence are you on with Sancho? What you like, bro? Relax, man. Why do I need to be on a side, bro? They're both our players. One's our manager. Like, it's almost like the fan base now feel like you've got to feel a certain type of way. You've got to feel a certain type of energy.
Yeah, they want you to feel like they feel
in this situation. They want me to take a side. I'm like, I don't take no side. I think the manager was wrong for calling him out, and I think Sancho equally. You know what I mean? Should have been chatting back or whatever, like, in that case. So, but then again, don't feel the type of way if the manager does come out and then Sancho defends himself. Like, everyone just relax. But this fan base, I don't know, man. I don't know if they've been in the real world or something. Like, just this is what happens every day. Like, the manager ain't happy with you.
Can't lie, the world's changing,
but
man.
It is, though. I get it. I think it is. And I feel like a lot of people are not realizing that there's disagreements. There's something going on behind the scene that we don't know about. And the thing is, as well, there's a lot that we don't know about, guys, And obviously, certain man know, certain man don't know. But there's a lot that goes on behind closed doors. And the media is there to filter out things so that you believe either way. So it's down to you then to say, right, am I taking the media's judgment and they're going to spin it, or are you going to take your own opinion and figure it out yourself, and you have your own judgment? Which way are you going to go with? You're going to go what the media say, or you're going to go what you say? Because I tell you what, if we did that on the media basis, bro, everyone's locked up, everyone's cancelled, everyone's this, everyone's that, and it's a long day, man. So I don't know.
You know what, Saeed? Yeah, people have to take a breather and patience, man. Everybody's so reactionary. Even if it's not this, man, like we lose a game and it's 10 hog out, and you know what I mean? And the squad played rubbish and this and that, and this person's crap and rare, and it's like, we're not where we need to be yet. So if you don't have patience, you're going to be up and down like a roller coaster. Like, have a look, just take a pause, wait till Christmas and see where we're at in it. Do you know what I mean? With these things, don't judge the man too soon. If you've got your own beliefs and that, fair enough, you can have your own opinion. But at the end of the day, yeah, like, just let things play out, people, in it. Because, like, so I didn't even really pay much attention to them. Like, I check Twitter, but I don't pay too much to the up and down after games because it is crazy.
It's too much. Yeah.
Yeah, no, listen, I think ultimately, I don't know how this brews on, but Najee, has this got to kind of get in the box, like, quickly and better, like, and obviously with the Sancho situation as well, that one as well is a bit of, like, how fast have we got to sort this out? Like, which one would you sort out first? Like, obviously now the Antony one, it has to pen the investigation, but with the Sancho situation, that has to be nipped in the bud ASAP before we come back to the season. Like, the international rate has to be nipped in the bud ASAP.
No, I'm with you, bro. If I'm 10 off, trying to put myself in his shoes now. If I'm in this situation, I'm looking at the Antony situation, the Sancho situation. I'm looking at which is the easiest resolved first. Which one can I resolve first through the proper channels? So not rush it, but which one can I resolve first and can I have control over most? Ten Hag, and again, if I'm Ten Hag, I've got to be accountable for what I said. I personally feel Ten Hag said what he said during a period of an emotional state, and I think he had a moment where he went out of character just to be loose with his words. Because, and the reason I say that, and I give him the benefit of the doubt for that, I'm not saying he was right to do so, but I understand it, or I feel I understand it anyway, is because Ten Hag has been so consistent with situations worse than this in terms of how he's handled certain issues, shall we say, and the way he's protected players, and the way he's backed players, and the way he's big them up in conferences. But then
even the way he protected Sancho as well.
So that consistency is what I go off, and he's had a moment. Now, when I look at what he said, he wasn't even done with any malice and maliciousness. So I think then, it's been blown slightly out of proportion. However, it's been said, and it's been said about a player that is easily triggered in his feels, and rightly so. He's right to defend himself. So I'm looking at that and taking accountability, saying, you know what, if I'm Ten Hag, let me go chat to Sancho. This is my intentions, X, Y, Z. I don't appreciate the fact that obviously you've responded in the way you have, because I think there are 2 or 3 ways you could have defended yourself before jumping on Twitter after an hour or whatever, which would have given you more chances. This is my situation. You either book your ideas up, we get it cracking, and I support you like I did last season when I gave you the time off and I helped you in. Or you go, you know what, don't want to play here no more, don't want to play for you. Cool, no stress. Let's find a solution, move forward, but let's be amicable until that period happens. Those are your 2 options for me. And then from there, at least you've got a resolution, and it's on the player then to decide. If he decides not to play for Man United again, or the manager, at least there's a respect element brought back in the case of, let's be amicable and have no more noise because there's a lot of shit going on. Or it's a case of, me and Sancho have sorted it. It was my bad for talking out of line, but at the same time, Sancho's mutually understanding his part of it. Cool, we're moving forward. At least then we can put that to bed. So I'm saying Sancho first. Antony's situation is external factors because you've got the police involved. So it's a case of he could probably bide a bit of time and go, well, I'm waiting for the police reports. I'm waiting for this before I can make a decision. People can't really argue with that. So it gives you a bit more time with Antony. And then it's a case of, okay, when that happens, I can then take that information and deal with it. So that's the order I'm hoping it happens. But again, I'm not part of the club. And like I said, I don't get paid by them, and I'm not important to them. So my opinion means absolute nish batty in the grand scheme of things.
No, you're spot on, man.
That comment was bad, I like that comment where he said about
this one here,
the Sancho and the Sancho and the Antony role, where it says if I was Eric Ten Hag, I'd suspend Antony, take him out the limelight, and do Sancho. I think that would be right now. I think that's a good idea. I'm not going to lie to you. Do you know what I mean? I think Sancho deserves the chance. I think Ten Hag tried to motivate him in a way that he thought he did. I think Neji's bang on. I think a lot. I had a debate with this with my brethren in the gym the other day. He's like, nah, Ten Hag's not feeling any pressure. I'm like, I think he is. I really believe he is.
He is, man. You can tell he's rattled down, man.
Yeah, naturally you would. Do you know what I'm saying? I mean, I've not heard him come out of a game and talk about decisions that much to do with penalties and things like that. Has he got a right to? Yes, but ultimately, look, I'll be real with you guys. When that game ended the other day, this is the 2 words that I said to myself: shame, United. Shame. Do you know why? Because we had chances to kill that game before they killed the game. And I don't care what anybody says. We had chances to do it. If Rashford makes the right decisions, see Saidi, bang on here. Yeah. If Rashford makes the right decisions, top of the box, Hoyland's there in it. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, because Rashford doesn't make the right decisions, let's just say he gets 5 chances, 4 times he doesn't.
Wait, do you think that was a bad decision from Rashford?
No, I think with Rashford, Neji, I think we all know that if you play with Rashford, if he has 5 chances, he's passing it once. So if I play with that kind of player, I don't know when he's going to pass it or when he's not. I don't trust him. So what he does is then he fires one in quickly and he's like, oh, why didn't you get it? Because the last 4 times you tried, brother, you didn't pass to nobody.
No, I hear that, yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? So I think we've got to get used to a new... Say again.
Can't get no rhythm with him.
Yeah, there's moments where he breaks away at the top of the box, and then he stops the play and he wants to shoot and stuff. And there's players making good runs, or he doesn't take it byline. We all know, look what happened when he took it byline. Took it round Manford. He sent man to the shops. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's true. He's good at what he does. Can anybody do what Rashford does, where he jinks it across on his right and slaps that ball? No, but you're not going to do that every single time, bro. You're really not. Do you know what I'm saying? So I think we had chances to finish the game. I think Ten Hag is feeling pressure, and I feel like like I said to man last week, yeah, it's all about the decisions he makes with certain players and certain patterns at the moment are going to determine where we are at Christmas and where we are later in the season. It's really going to determine, like, I'm going to stand by this. I'll live and die on my sword, yeah? People have said Sancho wouldn't have made a difference in that game. I believe he would have made a difference in that game. I believe if you hook Rashford at 70 minutes to bring Sancho on, I think Højlund's scoring a goal. That's my opinion. Do you know what I mean? But I think if you hook Antony and put Pelestri on, Højlund might score a goal. That's just the kind of ballers I like to see, but that's me, innit? So.
Yeah. We got a super chat here from Michael O'Connor. Big up the lads keeping your talk level-headed and calm. This could get proper noisy real quick, so big up you, man, for how you're speaking. As always, man, that's what we do around here, man. But big up to you, man. Big up to everybody who's here. Still 1.7k in here. Make sure you are smashing the likes up on the video. But you know what? I want to touch on the discussion of are we making progress under Ten Hag? And I come to Rhino with this one, first of all, because I feel like the fan base are split open. I think rival fans think we're playing the same football as Ollie. It's still Ollie football. You know what I mean? We won a trophy last year. We got third. But again, you got to always aim for bigger, man. You can never settle for just think, you know what, we're going to be good this season. You have to keep pushing on. But do you think we're making progress, Rhino? In all
personally, in my opinion, I think we are, man. Obviously, it's hard to see with the noise. But if you clear the noise and look at where we was the season before and look what Ten Hag accomplished on top of the factors around what was happening while he's trying to get us better on the pitch. Like I said, Ronaldo went on flipping. What's the man's name?
Piers Morgan. Yeah.
Piers Morgan. That's one of the biggest things. I would love to see how someone like Pep or Klopp or even Arteta would handle that, you know. Everyone talks about it from the outside. How would you handle that? Then you're handling one of the biggest clubs in the world, yeah? Then you've got situations with the ownership. They're selling, they're buying, they're on the market, they're off the market. So many things are happening. So, but what we accomplished, yes, you can argue, okay, the league was the easiest one. It was an easy season based on the fact that there was not a lot of big teams competing. But then we saw the rise of teams like Brighton. We saw the rise of teams like Brentford. So I just think overall we have progressed. And I want to talk about something important. Everyone keeps talking about this style of play, yeah? One thing I can admit is that the style of play is not consistent, but there are clear signs of how we need to play. If you saw the start on Sky Sports, it says we are top for the most ball recoveries in the final third. That's not a fluke. Okay. That's a style of play. Okay. That's what Ten Hag's been set us up to do. If we take those chances, Tottenham game, Wolves game might be different. You know what I'm saying? We are top. I think we won 29, and second was I can't remember who was second. I think Chelsea or something on 20 or Brighton.
Well, yeah, chances created as well, by the way. We are, I think it's Brentford, Brighton, Chelsea, Everton, and Man United. So we are in the top 5 for big chances created. Again, it's one of them, like, you know, we're not finishing our dinner or we're not making the right decisions as well. But yeah,
someone here says that's not a style of play. It's a factor of part of a style of play. When you look at a style of play, you look at the attributes. That is an attribute of a part of style of play. You're going to see us do that consistently. That is a style. Yeah. That's what he wants. How we play out from the back. He wants us to be more progressive. But what we did against Arsenal, nullifying them, that's another attribute of a style. Not all teams play like that. When Brighton do that similar thing, you call it a style of play, you big up the Zerbi. But Onana was doing it. Onana under Saliba and Rice had the most ball progressions of the whole game. The goalkeeper. So top was Rice, second was Saliba, or the other way around. Onana was third. That's not a fluke. That's why Ten Hag's brought him in. Play out from the back, pick these teams off, and then be quick in the transitions of play. Boom, 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 score. Long pass, boom, boom, score. You know, but yeah.
Yeah, but also I want to play devil's advocate. Again, listen, I want to play Ten Hag. But equally, you could say all our 4 games this season have been very, very difficult. We could have easily lost to Wolves. We lost to Tottenham. We could have easily lost to Nottingham Forest. Let's be real. And I'm not even saying that hypothetically, because people can say, oh, well, you can easily lose the team. No, we could have easily lost to
they were the better team.
We came, it was a good, no, they were the better team. I get it. But I'm saying it should be better, though. In terms of what we're playing, it should be better. And then, obviously, this game here, Arsenal, we lost the game. We should have won it. Yeah. But when you look at it all in all, there's a season where, you know what, this season could have been very, very sticky for Ten Hag. In that, I don't think our style.
And I addressed that as well, Saeed. in my opinion.
Yeah, go on.
People say it's hurting the eyes. We're playing crap football. I understand, but that's what he wants, and we're just not doing it properly. If we were to do it properly, we'll be passing around the back less, and it'll be going forward more, and it'll be more interesting. Yeah. But it's coming slowly. Pause, because this pause police is ridiculous. But in regards to what you're saying with making the games easier, remember what I said to you guys. I remember from the start. Everyone in the comments, if you were here last week and the week before, I said there's something about the players. Their mentality is not there. What has Ten Hag now said in his interview? The players are better than they are. They're not doing what I've instructed them. Obviously, it must be what's going on and whatever. Even, for example, someone like Mount. I don't think Mount's meant to stay up high. I think he's meant to be back and forth. Obviously, he gets caught in the moment and he stays up high. Maybe he's trying to get the ball more and whatever. There's little things that I noticed that I feel like the players haven't done. Look at Rashford last season. This season, we're saying he can't be a number 9. Last season, we're forgetting he was doing a lot of things like a number 9. But then, obviously, it's not ingrained in him, so he reverts back to type, which is natural because he's only had 1 season of training with Ten Hag to learn this new style. He's been under Van Gaal, he's been under Mourinho, he's been under Oli. These players, their coaching has been damaged. So Ten Hag needs time to reinstall it into them. Rashford's been at this club for how many years? Luke Shaw, Wan-Bissaka. It takes a while to train his players. And you can't tell me it's a fluke that Rashford had his best season of his whole career. You can't tell me it's a fluke that Wan-Bissaka has increased so much and improved so much as a player. You can't tell me that's a fluke. And then we turn around and say, oh, but Ten Hag's this. Yes, we can pick the good and the bad, but let's not forget the good when the bad happens. And I think that's what a lot of the fan base do.
Spot on, man. I think there's this perspective needed. That's what you're spot on, man.
Musa, I know you're on me. Musa's on me.
I'm gonna bring him in.
I was waiting for this.
I know he's got a Ten Hag agenda, so we're going to let it come out today. But big up to King Stash. He's a member of the channel. We're a small club, close mentality. Can't beat the top 7 away from home. Our players have big egos, but they don't perform. More statements than wins. Got a lot of soft players in our squad. Facts. No, you're spot on, man. You're speaking facts, man. Absolutely. Yo, big up HK Music, man. The donation goes, I am about 30 minutes behind, but from my experience, my G's, I don't wish any woman to falsely accuse you of sexual assault because in today's age, it will ruin you regardless if you're innocent. We should let facts come out first before passing judgment. And this is what it is, man. Every single time, man. You know what I mean? You're always innocent before you prove it guilty. And right now, people need to understand that, you know what? We've got to wait for every evidence to come out. So now you're spot on, my guy. Big up HK Music. Dan Watson said, when Amrabat plays, we'll win the ball. Replace Casa, in my opinion. The same people saying United have zero style. What are you clapping for? The same United have zero style are the ones that say it's a 4-5 year job to get it.
I'll tell you why he's right, yeah. Well, okay, I'll tell you why I feel he's right, yeah. Because based on observation, Ten Hag needed a ball carrier. His first primarily signing, Saeed, would have been Frankie de Jong when he wanted to build this project. I hear you. Casemiro was not that profile. Now it's not a case of get rid of Casemiro and again the brother. I don't need to overspend, but correct me if I'm wrong in the chat. I don't feel he's alienating Casemiro because he's a bad player. I think it's based on profile and type. And this is what I said. A ball carrier enables Mason Mount to do his role higher up the pitch and Bruno. Because a ball carrier in the system that Ten Hag is trying is much more beneficial. So for me, a Casemiro doesn't technically do that as often as what you would need for a style of play. So I genuinely believe Amrabat doesn't mean that I think it's like for like every time because I think you will get Casemiro and Amrabat playing together. No stress. However, the ball carrying player is essential. And if Amrabat, again, molds himself in, I feel like you see Casemiro dropping out the team a little bit more or Casemiro staying a little bit higher and winning the ball back higher, replacing Mount and maybe Mount's on the bench. So Amrabat's going to probably be more dominant than Casemiro and Mount. So I'm clapping because I feel like he understands what Ten Hag's trying to do. And I respect that because it's away from our preference.
Do you think we can afford to play Amrabat, Casemiro and Mount with our wingers that don't create that much? Do you think that would just be like a bit of a creativity team?
The creative.
Or do you think Amrabat can kind of push it forward and still create on the back end of that?
Anyway, so don't worry, man.
No, I'm saying if he doesn't play Bruno, if he plays Mount, Casemiro, and Amrabat, do you think that team?
This is the thing with systems, done. Yeah, if your system is patterned and you've got the right profiles in play, the shape should be no different in terms of the movements that you're doing on and off the ball. So I always talk about 60-70% of games you're going to see a manager's preference of football depending on what type of team you're playing. So if you're playing, for example, a Burnley, you're more likely going to be more consistent with the type of play because you'll probably sit back a little bit more. If you're playing an Arsenal, you're going to be a bit more tactical, so you're probably going to see your style of football 40-50% of the game because obviously players don't always stay in the same position. Sometimes Rashford's going to be at right back, some people are going to get Antony tracking back at left back. So given all those factors, 70% on average over a season, you're going to see the same patterns of play on and off the ball, right? So if you've got your wingers out wide, right, but you know the fullbacks are inverted, your fullbacks literally make the runs inside to pull your centre backs out or your fullbacks, and then your wingers then end up cutting in. They even then create the space for the two midfielders, which would either be in your case what you're talking about, Mason Mount, Bruno, or Amrabat. So if the shapes are no different, it's all going to be based on end quality in the end. And if you've got your pivotal striker in Højlund, who's constantly making central runs, because that's what he does. Shout out to Danny as well for highlighting this. A lot of people said he was a channel runner.
Big up Danny.
Yeah, big up Danny, man. A lot of people said he was a channel runner.
I didn't see that,
he's more so, again, cuts through that middle. So once you start seeing players open up space, the creative part, to answer your question, is based on space created, based on overloads, not technically creating on the ball.
I just question whether our players have got that ability to deliver that final bit because we've been watching them for ages. I 100%, I get what you're saying. You're talking about our system. Well. I get it. I don't trust these players to do that quality or make the right problem. It's either the quality or making the wrong decisions, which we see way too much. And I've seen it for so long now. Do you know what I'm saying?
I'm with you.
This is why I always say we can always get better. You know, when people say, "Oh, this guy's a mainstay," no, we can get better. Like we're so far away from what we think is quality. Like the idea of quality in this Man United team, I think it's far fetched. You need to get quality, and when you get quality, you get better decision making. When you get quality, you get output. Like I'm sorry, I know that's what I'm saying. That's why it's on Ten Hag to figure
you know
out
what it's like. It's like when you watch Martinez on the ball last season, and then you look at someone like McTominay. Like just the presence that Martinez has when he's running with it, it's crazy. The level, like you said, the levels are.
Can I just make one point as well? Because I know you're going to bring Musa in, Musa, if this Ten Hag watch carries on, obviously you work in a clothing store, innit? So we want to see the Ten Hag either custom trainers where it's Ten Hag watch or the hats or the t-shirts, because this is getting, you're building this thing right now. People are starting to follow you a little bit on this thing, innit?
Before I bring him in, I'm going to read Karen's super chat. Big up Karen's. In my opinion, we do extremely well from now until Christmas or Ten Hag is sacked before the new year. No in between. And Dan Watson says creativity will also come when we have a number 9 who will be playing in game out. We saw in one game how Højlund wins the ball and moves it on. You know what? That's a good point, Mulseo. Ten Hag hasn't had his spine yet. When you deep it, we've just got Onana. We're getting Amrabat and we're getting Højlund. That's his spine right there, Like, I think for me, people should judge Ten Hag when his spine is playing consistently. When a spine is playing consistently, then by all means say, listen, we're not playing the style of football. We're not playing. I always think people, let's judge him when he gets his team and his spine there. Right now, it's not been even Mount, which I don't rate, but let him figure it out with Mount. And let's all be then maybe saying, okay, then I can see where you're coming from with Mount. But where do you look at it in terms of the progress made and what you believe is right or wrong?
Problem is, Saeed, the season's already started. So trying to figure it out while we've got Brighton, Bayern Munich, then Burnley.
First.
Where are you going to figure it out? Because looking at our next 3 fixtures, our next win might be at Burnley. So we might we might lose at Brighton, lose at Bayern, and then we're trying to get a next win to get morale with these players at Burnley. And if Burnley turn us over with company trying to do it for City, then we're in for it. And this is the reality. We're 12 points. That's what I'm saying. So
Burnley, bro.
If we lose to Brighton, we just can't lose. Like we can't be taking 6 out of 12. We can't be taking 6 out of 15 either. Like for us right now, we need to be winning our next games. The problem for me with Erik ten Hag is that whether it's his fault or not, he's spent £400 million. That's just the reality. They're saying we're behind Chelsea when it comes to spending. And them, man, they are horrible at this spending thing. So he's got his players. He said the last game, he said that Martial had a great game. Martial is not even coming out of second gear no more. The brother is stuck in second gear.
I heard apparently they're trying to get into Saudi, because they can still get him out.
He said he had a good game and blah blah.
I think
Can I be real with you
do
though?
that now.
Yeah, but we know Ten Hag
right
lies. Why is he going to come out and
Yeah,
start
I
saying
think he just said that to build his confidence because he knows he's only got Martial with Hoyland.
Call man management,
You
Musa.
don't say that though,
Call
man.
man management, bro. You're not
Say
going to
that,
call
man.
your player out as soon as he's just come
This
back
is
from
where we go
injury.
You don't have to say anything. You don't have to say anything. I don't think someone said to him, "How did Martial play?" Did someone say to him, "How
Yeah,
did
but
Martial
sometimes,
play?"
okay.
No one
Consistently though, every time someone's asked him about a player, he's bigged them up. Whether it's Maguire, so if that's what he naturally does, then is that an issue?
No, but I get that. But he's staying. He's staying though. He's staying. Martial.
Nah, someone said to him, Hoyland played good. What do you think about Hoyland? And he went, Martial also. He's wicked.
Yeah, that's good.
No way.
Take the pressure off
Is that to promote competition?
That.
Is that to promote competition between the two?
Take the pressure off a kid, bro.
Nah.
Put it on the senior. Yes.
He doesn't lie when it's Sancho. He lies when it's Martial. He doesn't want flipping, what's his name, Maguire. Then he says Maguire has to compete. He's a big player. He says Scott McTominay.
I get where Neji's coming from. Hold on a minute, yeah. Neji, I know where you're coming from. When you need to sell a player, you speak goodly of them, yeah. I get it.
It's just man management, bro. It's cool.
No, but I get it. Bro. But this signal, man,
it's just a press conference at the end of the day, man.
This shouldn't even be a convo, Musa, bro.
This is why I'm on. But this is why I'm on Ten Hag watch, because he's on it, he's off it, he's not on it. Like, what's going on? He's bigging up Maguire. He said he doesn't want him to go, but then we all know he wants to sell him. My thing is, this is Eric Ten Hag.
It's the same logic, though, Musa. He's bigging up Maguire to shop him.
But sometimes then we defend him and say, well, he can't lie. He's a professional liar. We've seen that now. That's what he does. He's ready to lie.
What's wrong with it, though, bro?
No, but I'm just saying, sometimes we use it to defend him and say, like the Sancho thing. Everyone was saying, well, he can't lie. What do you mean he can't lie? Of course he could have lied. He didn't have to say it. So this, I'm talking about people with that opinion. Yeah. But for me, Eric Ten Hag, this is the reality. It's his second season. He's 400 million deep. He's bought a lot of players in this. He's changed the goalkeeper. He's changed the back four. He's changed the midfield. He's changed the side. Of course, he's changed the back four.
He's only changed one person.
Bro, you're begging, bro.
Let me tell you how we.
At least come strong, bro.
Let me tell you how we change the back four. By giving players contracts, you're affirming that they're your signing. You don't give a player a contract you don't want. By giving the lower contract, he's affirming this is the type of player I would have went for.
That's not changing, though, Musa.
Not necessarily.
That's a selection out of what you have.
No, but necessarily.
Changing is Martinez. That's a change.
Do you know what? Just to back Musa's point, yeah, would you say that he's asking the back four to do something different? Do you know what I'm saying? I know they're the back four, I get it, but is he asking because he's revolutionized Wan-Bissaka and he's asking him to play a little bit more inverted? I'm not saying he's changed the players, but has he changed their style? Is that kind of what you're saying?
Leo, can we just be honest here? Man's turned up against Arsenal. His fourth and fifth choice centre backs is because he didn't get Kim Min-jae and because the club wouldn't let Maguire go because of the fees that they would have had to pay. Is that on Ten Hag really? No.
So yeah, I get that.
What are we doing here? Perspective is the word Saeed used earlier. Let's stay with perspective when we're making these judgments, because I'm here for it, Musa. But I think you're just making it easy for us just to how can I put it? Kind of debunk what you're saying, bro. Because you're being a bit extreme. I can't lie.
Oh, who's this? Who gave Evans this contract?
Ten Hag.
So what are you telling me about Evans? So why did you give him a contract? Because
you probably need another centre back thinking,
No, but I think you're wrong, Neji. I don't think Ten Hag gave him the contract. I think it's the club. The club felt sentiment and said, "Yo, listen, we're gonna give Evans a new contract. You don't really have to play."
We were offered £30 million for Maguire, £30 million for Scott McTominay. Why didn't they leave the club?
Bro, I've just told you because we couldn't get rid of Maguire. They had to pay they have to pay to let Maguire go. That's not on Ten Hag, bro. But you're missing out on purpose. I don't like when you do that, bro. It's not fair.
No, my thing is because as a man, look. So when we wanted to buy Antony and we wanted to buy Hoyland and we overpaid, who was it? Who forced that action for the club to go in? Who forced that? The manager. If the manager doesn't want these players and he's ready to take a loss, he will force the club to get them out.
But that's not the same situation as last season because the budget from last season is different. We've literally just had record-breaking like losses within our club. Like this season, different, Musa.
No problem, but he's
financially different, bro. This is why, yeah, we
just paid 20 million over the odds for Hoyland. We just overpaid for Hoyland by 20 million pounds.
So what? That's the situation the club's in. That's not Ten Hag.
But you're saying this season is different with financial restraints. We've just paid for a player. So why are we overpaying by 20 million?
Because there's a desperation needed for a striker as opposed to a centre back. Like that's like, come on, bro. I feel like you're just trying to make issues for no reason.
No,
there is an issue.
Coming in here. Is that where? Yeah, go on.
The issue is this: that our manager's in his second season, as a fan base and a group of people, where we feel like this season feels like it's even a worse start than last season in terms of where we are looking at pre-season and everything. We're sitting there also asking a question about the development of the player and how he wants to play. We're looking at other teams who've just had managers in for like 3 months, whatever, and their style seems that they played us like wolves.
That point you made, yeah. I'm gonna cut when you finish, Musa. I'm gonna make a point on that. What you just said, yeah.
It's more advanced than in terms of how they want to play than where we are. We're also making excuses in terms of some players are not fit. Because what I see is this: I see teams like even Liverpool. Liverpool will get peppered, but they will get peppered on their principles. The people, like whoever comes in to play, plays the system and plays the way the manager wants them to play. I ain't got a problem with us starting with Evans and Maguire, but let's just play the way Ten Hag wants us to play. Right now, I still don't know what Ten Hag wants to really bring to Man United. I've seen different patterns of play, but they're so different in different games. I don't know which one is the one that he wants.
Yeah, but that's what he said. He said that in his interview that his system is a mix of different things. That's what he said. I don't know if you guys have seen it. I think
it's not good, Rhino.
Rhino, see when I heard, I just felt like that was a sophisticated Ole Gunnar Solskjaer statement.
Nah, man. Do you know why? Let me say something to you. Let me ask you a question. If Tottenham didn't start off so well, would you still think like this? Would there still be pressure on us? But okay. But then what about when Pep started or when Klopp started? We used to compare their first seasons. Now we're just getting pressured by Postecoglou's in. He's done it in three games. We must do it. Everything's different.
But this is his second season.
Okay, wait, sorry, Musa. Let me say one more thing. Last season he started his way. We got peppered. Now he's trying to stick to his way. We're still not happy. Which one do we want?
Well, one in it
against Arsenal. We wouldn't have played like that last season.
My point.
But he's sticking to his ways.
I think, you know what, Rhino. I think when Musa's coming on now, there has to be an evolution of the way we play now.
Okay,
it has to be a little bit better.
That's true.
I think for me, it's fair that we now expect higher standards now.
No, 100%. That's true. That's true.
Last season was last season. Look where we can't keep thinking. Like he's got credit in the bank. I think he's got credit in the bank, and it's a second season. But now where Musa's saying is that it needs to be better, our style of play. It needs to be more consistent. And away from home and home.
All I'm saying as a fan
base, I hear that.
Yeah, all I'm saying as a fan base, this season with higher expectations and expecting us to develop on what we did last season, we all have to be watching out what the manager's actually doing. Last season was like, okay, cool, you got a free reign, you're doing your thing. Not to say that every time we question him, he has to leave the club, but we can't just sit here because we can finish this season without any progression, and then we're talking about Erik ten Hag getting sacked in the summer. And we're not looking out for the signs. We just have to be honest.
What do you think?
All right, cool.
What's your idea of
one more thing,
Yeah, go on.
Saeed, you said, go on. Because Saeed, you said something earlier. I want to bring up and see what you're saying. And
okay. I'm gonna read some super chats in and keep liking the video, people. 1.6k still here, man. Hit the like, but we need 1,000 likes before the video ends, people. John A says, if our forward players play as a team, not as individuals, we will be unstoppable past the effing ball. Spot on. Ten Hag gets so many excuses from our fan base. Says United all the way. And Carl says, hi. Big ups Maguire. Maguire's fifth. He big ups Martial. We only have 2 strikers. He's doing what he can, not necessarily what he wants. And that's probably the kind of the story of Erik ten Hag at Man United. He can't do what he wants. King Stash, big up, bro. He says, he has to keep morale up. It's called man management. We have so many emotional players. Look what happened with Sancho. He criticized him a little bit, and the boy turns into a keyboard warrior. If he loses the dressing room, it's over. But yeah, go back to Rhino, and then I think Deji's going to come after that.
I think it was you, Sai, that made the point that this is the first time he's playing with a 9 that he's actually wanted. We have to factor that in. That's hindering just the progress. We haven't had a proper 9. Last season, he probably thought, you know what, I can convert Rashford to a 9, or Martial's going to do his thing. The 9 probably could be a big factor as to why the system's not working. And then also now, this season, we were expecting someone like Kane and was expecting a backup like Højlund. Was expecting 2 midfielders, were expecting 2 centre-backs. He hasn't got it. So I feel like that plays a part. I'm not trying to justify. I'm just trying to look at both sides. Like, has he really got all these tools where we can judge him and say, bro, he's got Højlund, bro. We're not even playing the same. Like, Højlund's now in. We're starting to see things we haven't seen before. We're seeing things that Martial hasn't done in years. So we need to start to see how it is, even just with a striker in place. I get it. It sounds like we're waiting for another excuse. But the fact of the matter is, we've never had a competent striker of the profile he needs. And that plays a important part in how we play.
Always though, Ryan. I think Højlund had 2 passes in 30 minutes the other day when he came on. Yeah. And that's because, and this is one of my biggest issues with Ten Hag, is that in his second season, our front three, especially the wingers, still are not supporting the striker. We just had a whole season of these men not supporting the number 9. We've started the season again, and that's the biggest problem I have in this team. And one of the things that I remember, Nazy, we spoke about was why we said don't get rid of De Gea now, because our team is not ready for Onana. Not that Onana's crap, but they're not ready for that football. We're talking about having to change maybe 3 of the back 4 because only Martinez can play. Let me show you something. We're talking about Casemiro can't receive the ball from someone like Onana. They're saying Wan-Bissaka can't do it, Varane can't do it, Luke Shaw can't do it. They're saying the only person that can do it is Martinez. So we're talking about having to change 4 from the back just so that Onana can really be brought to the forefront. Then we're talking about having, the front 3, especially the wing players, not playing towards a striker. So this is why we were saying, for as bad as De Gea was, and he wasn't that bad, because as a defense, we had what we had. Let's not get too deep into that. Let's go and get us a world-class number 6 and a world-class striker like Harry Kane, and let's build on that front and score more goals. Because we're not scoring more goals.
If the wingers are not providing a striker, well, it's not going to change nothing.
That's not how it works, though, Rhino. That's not. You have to understand, yeah.
This is why I want to get Sancho a chat with Højlund, man. That's why I want to see what Sancho can do with Højlund. Let's be real, man. Sancho's never had a striker. We got this. He had Ronaldo, he had Weghorst, and then, man. So let's see what he can do with striker.
And Palestri.
Sorry. That's all good, man. We got this idea, yeah, that it's old school. Give it to the wingers whip it into the box, and then boom. Like it's not just about when the ball's at a player's foot, what he can do to create for like this. It's not Sunday league. I'll be very, very honest. Not being disrespectful, it's just not Sunday league for Ten Hag. Like his style of playing, what he's trying to do on that pitch, is more so off the ball movements. Everything is so critical off the ball, and a number 9, like a world class number 9. In terms of being able to create chances, is basically, and again, similar to what Klopp was doing originally with heavy metal football, in the sense of win the ball back earlier, and then we can create the spaces from there. And then if we're in control of a game, that's when the different patterns are there. That's when your wingers won't necessarily be running down the wing on transitions, whipping balls in the box. No, because they've got more men back. So then you start to see differences in their play. So all I'm saying, and again with Musa on this, is the striker situation has to be the most potent. Has to be. The midfield situation has to be. We all know we wanted Frankie de Jong as the first signing. He went hell for leather to go and get him. Why? Because he's so pivotal to the system on and off the ball. That is so key. We've only just got Amrabat. So I see progression, but I'll go back to, and I'll bore the fans and I'll bore you guys with the same thing, because it's what I predicted, if you remember, is pretty much happening in front of our eyes. I said with Onana in goal, we will probably concede more, but we'll create more. Someone read the stats out earlier about creation,
and he's still
right?
working. He's still working. He's still working.
Yeah. And I said to you, what's the point in creating more if you ain't going to finish? If you can't be clinical.
Yeah, I remember you said that. Yeah.
So it doesn't mean that Onana's bad and buying Mount is bad, but the system's changed so much that now we've taken 3 steps forward, a big leap in the profiles, and 5 steps back. Whereas if you did what Musa was saying, just go and get your world-class striker first, then go get your midfielder, and then hopefully raise some funds to go get 40, 50 million for Onana, etc. Go on, bro.
Just to point you on that one. But there are inconsistencies in Ten Hag's kind of argument is that I want to give him time, but then he also bought Mount. Will that help our style of play? Antony was under his watch. Will that help our style of play in its entirety? Hoyland, like I said to you, he looks good, yeah. But if he don't score goals, again, the manager wanted him.
But this is what I'm saying, Saeed. Yeah, this is why, yeah.
Yeah, go on.
Go on.
Now I'm saying when people say, "Oh," I'm not saying I'm not justifying when people say Ten Hag out or Ten Hag down. They're saying, well, you're saying all of this, yeah. We're saying give him time and all that, but he's picking these players that he's got from his other clubs,
correct.
And therefore he then has to make it work. So we can't give him excuses in that angle. Do you see what I'm
saying? Okay, cool.
There's no excuses.
Neji, can I say something before you carry on? Yeah, just to maybe back up my point a bit more, that you can respond to what I'm saying. We are talking in priority terms. No club that we see at always prioritizes their main signing first. Just because Mount was brought first doesn't mean he was the priority, or vice versa. Or whatever. Yes, we can argue that Amrabat should have been brought in before Mount because of how we see it. But think about it like this, guys. Which one? None of us here thought that we're going to have such a bad window. We didn't think that, and I'm sure Ten Hag didn't think that. Yes, in hindsight, we can say, cool, he should have prioritized them because in hindsight, look what's happened. But realistically, he just thought we're going to get a bunch of players like last season. 2 midfielders, 2 strikers, 2 centre backs, and a goalkeeper. So maybe that's where it fluffed up a bit. We can only say that what you said is right because we're prioritizing. Don't change the hair, get the striker first. But in his head, I'm getting 2 strikers, I'm getting a goalkeeper, and I'm getting 2 midfielders.
So I agree with you. Sorry. Yeah, so I agree with you in the sense of no matter what order you get your players, it doesn't necessarily mean that's a priority. Every player that Ten Hag brings in, I agree is a priority. Here's the issue. We are not Manchester City. And I think Man United fans have got this idea that because, and they're losing track of it, we want to be compared to City, but we're forgetting that Pep Guardiola can go and change a goalkeeper 3 times before he gets his right one.
Yeah.
Ten Hag is not in a situation where he can get a signing wrong and then the next season go and change it. It has to work now. And that's why, and don't get me wrong.
I hear you.
I hear you. I
understand the extra pressure that brings, but Pep doesn't have that because he's got a structure behind him that allows him to make certain signings that are wrong, or he can get a signing and it can come through later on. For example, Nathan Ake this season is now starting. He looks like a baller. Bought like 2 under Ollie's reign. Yeah? When Phil Foden jumped on the scene, he hid him for about 2 seasons, season and a half. No one said nothing, he came back.
Yeah.
Because he has the ability to do that. Ten Hag doesn't have the ability to do that. So
and you know what, Neji? You know what he does as well?
Sorry, just to land.
I was going to say, he doesn't have a team behind him that take forever to do signings as well. Do you know, like
you bro, 100%. And this is why I have to give him patience. It's not that I want to, because I want to put that pressure on him, but the perspective of what he's working under tells me I can't even get onto him the way I want to, for the simple fact that I can see why he's being shagged. Every signing that he's brought in, yes, most definitely is his style. However, if he, again, and this is where me and Musa will come in, if he could prioritize certain signings more than others, I don't think he struggles as much as he is at the start. However,
true facts.
However,
100% I agree.
It doesn't mean that the signings are wrong. It's just that the fact that you've got a facility player like Mason Mount and you've brought an Onana in who pretty much wipes out your back four creative-wise, the dynamics have changed so much that now Casemiro's looking like he's exposed. He's now got to adapt, and it's a knock-on effect. So I've got to be patient now, because if we're Man City and we're getting the 6, we're getting the striker, we're getting the keeper, the fullbacks, whatever, then I'm sitting there going, bro, got 1 year, show me.
I think the worst thing Ten Hag can do is to just think, you know what, I'm going back to last season and I'm going to defend. I think in the situation that we're in, he has to go in there and start to outscore teams, because that's our problem. He has to train that. I'd rather win games 3-2, 4-2, 3-3. I'd rather we fight on the front, then he goes back to, because that's not going to progress the team forward. He has to sort out that front. That front has to start banging in goals. Then he can say, you know what, let me show you at the back now. But if he just goes back to saying, let me defend, Rashford will cut and bang in. Rashford, if he has a bad season, what?
People are going to get tired of it as well, man. A lot of people are going to get tired of transition football. And I'm not saying transition football is bad, by the way, but you got to have an element of control. You got to have an element of, when you keep the ball. And that's why, for me, Amrabat is such a key signing. Let me just get some of the super chats in. And guys, we've still not reached 1,000 subscribers. 1,000 likes. It's only 724, man. Come on, guys. Let's get the likes up, people, man. King Stash says, Ten Hag and the players cannot play the way he wants. He said he has to adjust to his players. From total football to best transition team, he's building a team to suit Rashford and Bruno, players who can't retain the ball. I've said that as well. I think for me, I think he's looked at what he has, not what he needs. And sometimes, you know what, you have to make what you do, but you also then are sacrificing your style of play. So I hear you, man. Kyle says many United fans still want traditional 90s football. That's why they rate Garnacho over Sancho. Eric Ten Hag is evolving our football. Complain when we play his way and fail, not when we have counter-attacking as starters. That's a good point as well, man. John A says, all those who want Ten Hag out, be careful what you wish for. Drama from players, owners, and competent directors who can't sell or buy players. Exactly. Perspective is needed in that situation. But you know what, man? It just got kind of bodes well to obviously international break. We've got Brighton, Burnley, Champions League football. I think for me, a mixture of results are always first. And let's not beat around the bush. It's results first. But this season, we need to see style of play included majority of the time. Yes, whenever you need to win last minute. Not against Forest, like Leon says, you know what, get the job done. You were 2-0 down. Perspective is you win 3-2. Nobody's going to say, you should have won 7-2. No, we won the game. Perspective. But like Wolves game, 1-0 when you probably got dominated the whole game. Not good enough. Tottenham game, we only played for 20-30 minutes, not good enough. Like, we have to play better for 90 minutes. I want to see Man United play well for 90 minutes. Sometimes I look at Man and like, yeah, we played well for 30, but then the rest of the team, we kind of went missing. And when you look at it, certain players have to perform away from home. We look at Ten Hag, we keep bashing Ten Hag. When is Bruno going to play away from home well in a top 6 game? And sorry, Neji, when is he going to play well in a top 6 game? When is a certain man going to start performing? Because when you talk about our front three, Sancho needs to do more. Antony needs to do more. Garnacho's doing a lot for a kid. Garnacho's showing certain man up. Let's be real. He's showing certain man up. And people are hating on Garnacho. I don't get it. But he's an impact player. He's not a starter. So I expect better from the starters. So the people who are starting games have to do better. So everyone needs to kind of, because at the end of the day, we always blame the manager, but the players aren't good enough as well. Let's be real, man. The players here, some of them aren't good enough. And majority of them, we've given them time and time and time again, chances after chances. When now are they going to start performing for a new manager? That another question has to be asked.
I think it's about balance as well. I think.
Listen to this also. This season there might be 5 spaces up for the Champions League. Yeah, this is the pressure Eric Ten Hag's in. If we have a season where we don't even make top 5 for him to get in the Champions League, and we're getting knocked out of Europe and ending back up in the Europa League, I don't think he will survive. If there's 5 spaces for the Champions League this season, and we don't make Champions League football, and we have a bad run in Europe in the European Cup in terms of getting knocked out in the group stage and ended up in the Europa League, I don't think he survives that. I don't care what other domestic cup and all of that. He doesn't, because that's the pedigree as a club. And I think our standards have fallen. Our standards have fallen so much, but the minimum is Champions League football. Like, we need to be getting back in there, and we need to be also competing.
What's your realism, Nordin? I mean, sorry, Musa. You're saying be ambitious, but you also got to be realistic as well. Like, what do you expect from United this season? What do you expect this season from United? Position-wise and trophy.
On the basis of what happened last season, and in terms of what we've done and how we progressed, and the idea that I thought we had, because we were getting linked with Kane, we were getting linked with Osherman, all of that type of stuff. My ambition for this season was get into the last 16 in the Champions League and narrowing the gap at the top by at least another 8-10 points. With getting the forward that we were getting, that forward would get us at least another 10 points. So like we'll go to what? How many points did we finish this season, God?
50. No, sorry, 70. What was this? I didn't
75.
Know 75.
75. So yeah, we will get to the 85 this season, and wherever that lands us, even if 85 lands us third or fourth, we're still getting closer to that 100. That we know you need to be there or thereabouts to win the league. You know what I'm trying to say? That's what I was thinking. We're going to get to that 85 points, get to the last 16, and then the cups are the cups. You might win an FA Cup, you might not. But and also seeing United progress on what we did last season. Seeing go and get that. You can't get De Jong. Go and get the next best thing. World-class player in that position to progress the ball forward with someone like a Harry Kane scoring the goals. That's what I thought. I didn't think we were going to get rid of De Gea and all of these things going to happen. But I'm going with it.
Let's be honest, man. It was
but no one thought that. Listen, no one's saying that we're against it's happened. But when we were sitting there, Saeed, changing the goalkeeper, no one spoke about that.
No one wasn't saying it was a priority. You're right.
Nobody.
Well, I think it was, but I think people were saying priority was I
think some people were because people were because of the swirling media. But I think the realists were understanding the midfield.
People were saying
midfield, of course.
There were no names. Yeah, but there were no names being linked to it. It wasn't like the way we were linked with Kane, Osherman, and these type of players. There was no goalkeepers being linked to us. You know what I'm saying? We didn't. It's only when we saw the Champions League final. And then we saw Onana doing bits. Everyone started saying, "Oi, there's levels out here."
Go get him. Yeah, true. HKM said the two decisions that make me question Ten Hag are making Mount as a priority 8 and making Bruno captain. I think for me, it's a Mount thing for me. And obviously, Bruno's a fan's favourite. So the manager's not really going to drop Bruno for that reason. I get that one. It's a fan's favourite. You don't drop one of your best players.
You think Bruno's not getting dropped because of the fans? Come on,
no, it's not that. We touched
You're
it
better
before.
than that, That's sour.
I'm not saying it's sour, but I'm saying imagine he dropped Bruno. Come on, man. You think he'll survive? I don't think he'll survive as a manager.
I don't think he can.
Bruno Fernandes
I actually don't think he can. That's the thing.
I think it's the mindset and everything.
But regardless of what you think he can, I'm not saying, by the way, Bruno Fernandes is a bad player, but I'm saying there's certain decisions that I think.
Well, Said, who would you have made captain? Who would you have made captain now?
Lisandro.
Wait. But Said, factor in how we've started this season, even Martinez's drop off as well.
I think Martinez has a little bit too emotional.
Varane or Martinez for me.
I think Varane's a better choice. Varane's a better choice.
You know what? Them man play regardless whether they're playing in home or away. Them man are performing. Bruno Fernandes away from home in a big 6 game. He's still moaning the referees. Come on, man. You can't be doing that. That's my opinion. Listen, Bruno Fernandes at home is a bully boy. He bullies teams at home, and I give him credit. I always said it. I will always give credit when Bruno Fernandes plays the lesser teams. He bullies teams. But when he comes against the top dogs, he don't deliver. And this is why I wouldn't put him captain. You see what I mean? So that's just the way I kind of look at football. People say Varane's always injured. Okay, Lisandro Martinez. Anyway, my first choice was Lisandro Martinez. And then it was Casemiro, and then it was Varane. So they were the top 3 for me. Bruno Fernandes was in there, but it wasn't my priority.
Aside, I'm talking about, is that your answer in hindsight to now, seeing that Martinez, Martinez has been?
I tweeted it.
I'm saying, but now, do you think that would have been a good decision? If you made Varane captain, Martinez, looking at how we've started, how do you think that would have played out?
No, but the thing is, does it change me the way I view Bruno Fernandes as a footballer? No. But I'm saying as in, certain things that you see in a player, like you get extra responsibility, and if you're the captain, you're getting the scrutiny. But Bruno Fernandes, like I said to you, I've said it and I'll say it again. I don't think he's world class, and I don't think for me,
he's not.
You know, he does. It doesn't.
You don't think Haaland's world class? You never go back to me on that one.
What? Sorry.
That means you don't think Haaland's world class as well. If you don't turn up in big games when it matters.
Bro, come on, man.
No. Remember, I showed you. I told you, hold on to these
define big games. Okay. Define big games then, because for me, when he played against, was it Bayern Munich and all these teams? Did he not score against them teams? Yes or no?
Yeah, you got so how many finals do you want to talk about? How many semi-finals do you want to talk about? Like what
big games in general, big games.
United this is what I'm saying to you, though. Okay. So you asked me to define big games.
Are you talking about finals?
You asked me to define big games, yeah? You asked me to define big games. I even tweeted you in the stats of Haaland's big games, and he wasn't doing it. And that doesn't mean I don't think he's world class. I'm just using your logic in it. So I'm just keeping it even for you for every player. So I'm saying to you, ultimately, a big game for me is when, and again, a lot of people say big games are based on the teams you're playing. I think it's based on the occasion and the situation surrounding the club at that time. For example, if Man United were in a relegation battle and we had to face flipping West Ham at the end of the season, we had to win, yeah, that's a big game. I expect man to turn up. So for me, it's a case of a big game is when there is a high amount of pressure. Of course, there's always a level of pressure. When there's a more than unusual amount of pressure to go and win a game, so i.e., obviously the Arsenals are there because the derby, that's a high extra amount, the rivalry, sorry, there's a high extra amount of pressure. If it's a case of small games that can turn into a high amount of pressure, you're 2-0 down at home against Forest, you need a captain's performance then. That's high amount of pressure. We all felt the nerves. That's not a normal game. So big games can happen even when you're down to 10 men. Big games, I've seen it many times. Now, one thing I notice that with people that dislike Bruno as a baller, they will discount what he does on the ball at home games because it's like, oh, he should be doing that anyway. But then they'll have that same expectation when he goes away, not understanding that when you go and play away, right, it's completely different. And the reason it's completely different is for two reasons. Well, I'd say one solid reason. I'll go with the one solid reason. That it's a lot harder to go and play away. Standard procedure. The way in which you set up to go and play away is different. The mentality has to be different. And you need a whole team to be able to facilitate that same mentality. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't think Bruno, and this is why I understand. I don't think Bruno has been levels every time he's played a big team as such on big occasions. But and I agree with that. I actually do genuinely on my heart agree with that. And I've seen it, noticed it, and said it myself in tweets. But overall, there's been so many big moments within big games where we've needed my man and he's come through. And not only that, against Arsenal, yes, we didn't see the creative side of him, but to nullify Arsenal for 25 minutes, who was the one who made most of the tackles in that first half? Who was the one who was clearing the ball out of the box when crosses were whipping in by Zinchenko? Nobody mentioned it. Why would people not mention it? Because it didn't suit, obviously. Bro, it does. I'm not even lying, bro. If I was lying,
how do you rate Bruno Fernandes then?
I wouldn't bring it to the table.
But how do you rate Bruno Fernandes? Are you rating him by his tackles?
I wouldn't bring it to the table. Let's not. Don't shift the conversation. Stick on what I'm talking about.
But what are you rating him by, though, bro? You're rating him by tackles and whatnot. I'm rating about what does he do.
No, I'm saying to you, right? It's okay for people to slander the creativity side and go, oh, I want to see more out of him. But when he does the other things, he doesn't get highlighted. That's inconsistency.
I get it.
That you, and that's my point. So I'm taking everything, every single game. This is what I'm saying to you. I've seen him play against big games, seen him in big games and go, he's had a shit performance. I'm with you. I'll shake hand and go, yeah, I agree. But I'm saying to you, not every big game has been like that because there is more. There's absolutely more from a player other than just going creating. And when you see that, it's ironic that it never gets brought up. I just want to know why.
Neji side, here's what it is for me.
Yeah. Go on, Bruno. I want to wrap this up as well.
Yeah, we need to wrap this up. Bruno for me isn't world class, in my opinion. I'll just be deadly honest with you. Because of creative ballers that have gone through the history, I believe a lot higher caliber than Bruno, and he's just not my type of player. This is me. I'm going to talk from a little preference here. Do you know what I mean? I like the Odegaard, Ozils. I like the techie man. That's my thing. Do you know what I mean? But he does make a big difference. There's a reason why he was chosen as captain is because he's the one who's always driving and always trying to push the game and always trying to create and always trying to have them big moments. Do you know what I mean? I think with Bruno, you've got to take the rough with the smooth. I think in one hand, he's highlighted a lot for what he does. Naji's got a really good point. But on the other hand, we don't have other players that play that position. So he is kind of the only guy that plays that position week in, week out. So I think from Saeed's perspective as well, when you judge him over, he gets played all the time. He gets played in every position that he likes and he gets all the minutes, With that sample size of how much he gets played, that's why I don't judge him as world class, because I believe there's players that can play that length of minutes in that position
and provide more
and be more sensible, not necessarily create more, but be more sensible and add more to the team in that case. Now, on the other hand, he does add to the team.
What would you define as add more to the team for me?
This is what I'm saying. On the other hand, it's the rough and the smooth. You got to take the guy that's the leader, the guy that never gives up, the guy that's always willing to take a risk, and the guy that's always willing to just run for the badge to the death, last minute tackles, loads of miles. But the other hand, you got to take gives the ball away, makes poor decisions sometimes, doesn't show up in the big games that Saeed's saying or whatever. Some games, some doesn't. So it's that trade-off. For me, I kind of end on this one for me. I think it's all about how Ten Hag, his stubbornness for me this season. Is he just going to play it like Ajax in the Eredivisie, where he just plays the same players consistently? Is he that stubborn where he's just going to be like, I'm playing these, man. This is just what I do in the Eredivisie, and that's it. If he changes the team around, I believe that we'll get results when we need to get them. If he's too stubborn and he plays the Antonys and the Rashfords, and I just feel like we're going to be punished in some games. That's what it is for me.
Leon, quick question.
Yeah, just play who's
quick question for
good,
Leon. Just quickly, Saeed. Yeah, just quick one. So you mentioned giving the ball away, and what was it? What was it? The two things.
Just like his decision making sometimes.
Yeah, decision making. Okay, cool. So when Kevin De Bruyne gave the ball away the most in the Premier League 2 seasons ago, did you say the same thing or not?
No, because I don't look at the
he
team.
delivers.
I don't look at.
He delivers.
No.
Can I tell you why I'm not comparing? Because they've got other man like Grealish and Foden that can jump in there. We don't. That's what I'm trying to say to you. He has to be highlighted, in my opinion, because he's the only man that plays that position, and he's favoured and he's the captain.
Okay,
so he's always going to play 10.
What it really is.
He's always going to play 10.
Stylistically, from a stylistic perspective, he's awful. From a technician standpoint, he's awful. He looks awful on the eye. Okay. So when he makes a shit pass, he looks worse than what it is. He's an ugly footballer. And stylistically,
he's a final transition player.
You've just said, Leon, yeah? You've just said you rate Odegaard, yeah? Because he's techie. Madison, he's techie. So some players look amazing on the ball, but still have less output.
I wanted Madison over Bruno Fernandes, by the way.
Yeah, I know where people are. But still,
I've always said that.
Either way, what I'm saying to you, most people are judging off preference. I'm objectively judging. There's a difference. So my preference is not Bruno Fernandes.
Though.
Say again?
It's not objective because I've seen.
No, I'm telling you. Okay, well, let me tell you why it is, and then you can defend it. It's objective because I'm looking at the overall game, even if I rate a player or not. So most people go. This is what happens. Yeah, this is why most people getting onto Mount. I don't rate Mason Mount personally. I don't. But people will stop there and go, so therefore he's a flop, or I want him to be a flop, and then I'm going to hold it to Ten Hag. Wait till Ten Hag. That's what people are doing. Me, I'm going, I don't rate Mason Mount, but let me take my situation out of it, how I see him. What's the manager seeing in him? What's he going to do to his team? Okay, if that's what he's going to do, I have to give time. So if it works, it works.
Naturally.
With Bruno on the opposite end, it's a case of I don't rate him. So when he's giving the ball away, etc., when he doesn't hold on to the ball, which by the way has never been his game style anyway, so I don't know why people expect that from him. It's like having expectations of something that's not going to happen because that's not what his role is. That's a case of you need to accept what the manager's wanting from him rather than what you want from him. Again, preference, not objectivity. So take your preference out of it.
The manager's in
charge.
Look
at the whole player. There's nothing there that a preference can tell you that he is not a world-class player. Does he have deficiencies? Yes. But this is why I say when I bring Kevin De Bruyne in, automatically it's defensive because, right, he looks better on the ball and he's a better technician. Doesn't mean Kevin De Bruyne is shit, but I'm saying I expect my creators to lose the ball. Kevin De Bruyne rates him as one of the highest in the Prem for the same reason. Game must know game. Only De Bruyne is a better technician.
But he also delivers.
Say again?
He also delivers.
Not all the time. Even for Belgium, he doesn't even go for Belgium.
Not all the time.
Saeed. Let's get it real, Saeed. Yeah.
It's true. Go on. I'm not saying anything.
Why do we always end up on the Bruno Fernandes debate?
This should not be uncomfortable.
Man said, let's get it real, and Wi-Fi just kicked him out. Did you kick him out, Saeed? Did you kick him out? Saeed kicked him out,
I don't know why we end up in the Bruno Fernandes debate. I don't know who ended the debate. I don't know how we got involved in the Bruno. Deji acts so professional, and he gets so passionate, and then we end up going on for another half an hour.
Let me just make one final point.
Yeah, make one final. I need to go.
I didn't make. Obviously, this is going to create a whole other stream. This statement, I didn't make the point of a preference. But we'll save that for next week. I honestly didn't make it over preference, even though it may have come across like that.
No, you did because you said that's my.
I judged it balancedly on his overall what I see from the eye test. But obviously we've got to think.
Yeah. Go on.
For me,
WhatsApp. We'll do WhatsApp.
Do you know what's really? Yeah, we'll do WhatsApp. Yo, ring me after this, fam. I got to drive to the boxing gym. I'm ready. I'm geared up. I've got the pads on now. You get me? We'll do the thing. Me personally, this is very interesting conversation. I'll leave man on this because I've got a dip in the set here. This is very interesting. We're relying on a Tenta for a lot of creativity, possibly Amrabat and Casemiro chipping in with Eriksen. This just shows that our wingers do need to step up this season. This is a big season for the wingers. Big season. So
especially Antony, bro.
Yeah. And well, listen, Antony
all of them.
Here,
all of them.
That's true.
All of them.
Sancho and Antony could not be here, and we're relying on Pellistri on the right wing. That could be a situation, Mandem. But anyway, King Stash, big up to you, my guy. He says, our biggest mistake was making Bruno our captain. Bruno should not be captain. The captain of Man United should be the player that everyone would go to war with. No one's going to war with Bruno. Every away game is a war. And big up to Kyle says, it's not about big games. It's about doing the basics to make us better. No one expects you to assist with every pass, but keeping us progressing with your passing. Bruno doesn't do that. Rory Sanders says, the guy's waffling. Bruno is one of the problems we have in this team. Standards are low if you're going to talk about tackles, low IQ. He didn't mention that as well. He also mentioned
you don't know ball, bro. My man don't know ball.
Listen, yeah. They
you don't know ball, bro. I'm sorry, you don't.
If we play Amrabat, Cassie, and Ericsson on the mid and Bruno on the bench, we can cook all the top 6 away, home and away.
I like that combo.
Last season, though, when Bruno was out, man were like, "Oh, we got no creativity."
No, we struggled without Bruno.
What's this?
Bro.
I'm just reading off the facts of the situation, and you man are coming out with Disneyland shit like.
No, but the thing is,
this imaginary idea. I'm giving you what happened.
No, but the thing is, though, let me ask you a question, though. I want to end on it. Though. Most of the people that were saying we missed him was because we missed the energy and the pressing. I don't think it was to do with creativity.
Don't give me that, bro.
No, but it was. It was the pressing.
Don't make me bring up more facts again. Don't make me bring facts.
But anyway, let's end it here. Guys. One more. A big up King Stash, man. Bruno is a moments merchant, passion merchant. He doesn't do the basics right. He's not good footballer, no technique and no composure. He could do well if we had a double pivot or ball retainers. Listen, man. I like Bruno for what
we don't play Pep Guardiola
football.
Sorry, we don't play Pep football, people.
Listen, just to kind of wrap up, I like what Bruno gives us, but I also think there's big errors or judgment in the game that I want him to improve on, and that's something that I think as a fan. But listen,
that's a
people,
good way to round it
off. That's fair.
Exactly.
I'll shake hand on that one side.
1.5K. Yeah, we'll shake on hand on that one. People, 1.5K still here. We've been a high retention throughout the whole video, and I don't think we've hit 1,000 likes. We're on 800.
Come on, people, man.
Guys, 1,000 likes, man. Come on, people, man. We need 1,000 likes. We need
people. Like we literally give you the most honest, the most tension-filled content for the Mandem ever. Like we keep it 100. You know what I mean? It's all done with respect and love, even with like the difference of opinions. You won't really find that anywhere else, man. Come on, support the Mandem. 1,000 minimum.
Come on, man, people. 1,000 likes. DG, big up to you, man, bro. Let them know what you got going on and anything that you got exciting coming up, man. Let them know.
Appreciate it, man. As you know, greatest heavyweight football around. Like, do you know what I mean? If you want to chest that challenge, then by all means, I'm here, but it ain't gonna happen. But yeah, man. Sunshine47, SONSHINE. What, Saeed, you're laughing? You want it, yeah?
Listen, no. Do your thing, man. Do your thing.
Safe. I'm ready, man. My left foot's ready 24/7. Telling you now.
Oh, man.
But yeah, listen, Sunshine47, you know me, guys. Big up all the obviously super chatters and the guys in the comments, all the loyal ones. Make sure you like the video, support every single one of us. And if you need anything to do with me, as I said, TikTok's just getting out there. Twitter's no different. And of course, Instagram as well for all things DJing and modeling as well. Other than that, thank you for having me, Saeed, as ever. Rhino, obviously Leon and Musa as well. And shout out to Ty, who isn't here yet. But
big up to Ty, man.
Yeah, man.
Come on, see you next week. Leon, big up to you, my guy, man. Let them know what you got going on. Any boxing promotions? What you got coming up, man? Let them know.
Yeah, we got shows coming up. So if you follow me on social media, if you're in Sheffield, if you're in Birmingham, if you're in London, next weekend we got a show in London. 2 weeks time we got one in Birmingham, and then we got one in Nottingham, and then we got one in London. So if you like boxing, you want to come to a show, tickets are anywhere between 20 and 40 quid with any of the promoters that I work with. Feel free to hit me up. And I'll see whether I can help you out. I work with closely with them, so I can always get you a deal or something. But I think we need to make a pact on here, yeah. If we're going to have topics to talk about, yeah. If the word Bruno gets mentioned, we're going to have to just stop it and say, Mandem, another stream, because this is crazy. The way that Neji's just getting warmed up now. This is madness. You know what I mean? So, and the greatest heavyweight football, I told you on the phone the other day, Saeed's going to rival you soon. I told you that. I did say that to you.
Yeah. Saeed, you got tech, yeah? You got tech. I've seen you at crossbars and top bins.
Come on, man.
I'm trying to hit crossbars, trying to hit top bins, bro. I'll be honest.
Come on, man. We got it. Wait.
Mandem, how heavy are you? I know you're 6 foot, like 2'3". So how heavy are you?
6'3", man.
So how heavy are you?
I'm big, man. I'm big built, bro.
Yeah, but what's the heavy, bro? I need that because I'm trying to see who's the heavyweight.
I'm super heavyweight though.
I'm 20 stone and a half. Are you heavier than or lighter?
Yeah, I'm heavier than that.
No, you're not, bro. No, you're not.
Listen,
hey, let me go into some now, bro. I swear to God on my life.
We'll see.
Yo, Mandem, I got a chip, bro. Big up. I got a chip, but big up, man. Big up.
You as well.
Lovely, man.
Big up to everybody who's here. Make sure you guys like the video. And yeah, man, Mandem, it's been a Mandem talk. We're out.
That was loud.